Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Go4lol tournament that's going on right now on December 23rd, I believe it is. It's currently 5:33 from where I'm sitting, and I'm going to be casting a game that my friend Chadus has actually requested that I cast. He's currently playing Olaf over on the right-handed team, going to be the purple team for this game, while the blue team is a team that I have absolutely no idea who they are. But they do have some pretty nice names. Dragon's going to be easy to remember, the one will be easy to remember, so that's pretty nice. Everybody seems to have pretty simple names. None of the Korean names coming out that I'm not going to have any idea how to say, so hopefully I'll be able to do a fairly decent cast here. I'll probably just call them by their champion names. But we are waiting for the delay to go through before I can actually start watching this game and bringing you the action. So we'll go over a little bit just what the teams are looking like here. Surprising that a Shen actually was still in the game. It wasn't banned out at least. So we're going to be running a Shen in the top lane for Dragon there over on the blue team. Shen being an incredibly rough top laner to deal with, and they're deciding what it looks like to go with Riven up in the top lane against him. And as you can see, a little bit of a difference here of playstyles. Shen has opted to go for that teleport, which is going to give him and his team quite a lot of dragon control, considering the fact that Shen also has his ultimate, so a lot of global presence there. And Riven opted for the ignite, so going to be going quite aggressive on him. Kennen in the mid lane for the blue team versus the Orianna. Orianna's such a strong pick lately. And in the bottom lane, looking like we got Ezreal, Leona, a very aggressive, powerful lane, versus Caitlyn and Nunu, which has, as you probably all know after watching IPL 5, has become the superpower team in the bot lane. So certainly some good combinations here, going with Chadus as Olaf in the jungle versus Nocturne in the jungle. So looks like we only have two honorable opponents in this game, one on each side, so hopefully it'll be a clean fight. But we're now loading into the game, thank God. So anything else to really talk about the team-wise? Where would I put my money right now? I have to support my friend, so I am going to be rooting for Chadus and his team here. Don't exactly know. There we go. So am going to be rooting for Chadus on that Olaf. Hopefully his team does pull it out. I believe they've already won one game against another team in this Go4lol tournament. But they are certainly going to have some work in front of them because they are facing a very, very strong team with the Nocturne, the Ezreal, and the Shen. Not only just having Shen, but Shen also with a teleport. They have an incredible amount of global presence. Especially in bottom lane, you can have a fight start with Leona jumping in on somebody with her, whatever her blade is called. And then Ezreal ulting from a big distance, Nocturne coming in and ulting from a huge distance, Shen coming from across the map. And the good part about teleport with Shen, which I actually just kind of realized, is that Shen can use his ultimate to bottom lane or to Dragon, and that's normally when the opposing team, so it would be Riven on this team, would start taking out Shen's turret. And it would be normally a fairly decent trade if they got a Dragon but Riven ended up getting the turret. It pretty much equals out that global gold. But Shen with the teleport, he's going to be able to use his ultimate to hopefully get a kill or secure the dragon, and then he's going to be able to teleport right back up to his lane. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the tactic that he plans to go for here, or if he's just planning on using the ultimate and the teleport both to either secure kills or to secure that free dragon, because they are going to have a lot more presence on the entire map than Chadus' team is going to have. So looking at the middle lane, it's been a long time since I've seen Kennen in the mid. I used to remember Reginald played Kennen quite a bit in the early years and really thoroughly enjoyed playing Kennen, but you don't see her as much anymore. Has quite a bit of AoE damage, which I think is what this team is currently going for, with the Nunu ultimate, the Riven, the Orianna ultimate. I think they're going for kind of that big, bursty, team fight controlled area, which makes perfect sense. It's going to be really difficult to kind of see who's going to win these team fights. For the early game, though, I feel like I would have to give it over to the blue team. They just have such aggressive lanes. And Leona Ezreal is just so scary. I would not be surprised to see... Oh, I'm going to actually look up her... What the hell is this stupid move? Zenith Blade. I knew it was something I was going to remember. But I would not be surprised to see Leona land one Zenith Blade and that cleanse from Caitlyn going ASAP, just to, especially if it's going for first blood, just guaranteeing that does not happen. So as you can see, both teams actually setting up near the red team's blue buff. So, kind of a precarious little situation here. Luckily for Orianna, they do have the ball out there, but once again, the only issue with the ball is that now blue team does know that red team is set up somewhere around this area. Orianna does have to be around this ball, so kind of an interesting tactic. It doesn't look like they're going to be going for any kind of aggression here. Just by the looks of things, they're all just kind of guiding their entrance points, making sure that Olaf gets that blue buff safe and sound without any hitch. You would have expected if red team were to be going for more aggression that Shen should have been with his team. He was really up here guarding the blue buff, making sure that red team didn't invade, but after seeing that Orianna ball on the opposite side of the river, probably a safe bet that they're not invading your blue, so would have liked to see Shen come over to that side, just to make sure that if a fight did erupt, that taunt makes a huge difference in team fights, especially level 1 team fights, having people off of your carries for that long. So Chadus getting a little bit of damage here from Orianna. For a lot of you that don't know, maybe this is your first game you're watching with these new jungle changes, but you can no longer kite and leash those big buffs, and even any jungle creeps for that matter. It will aggro onto the target that's closest to it. So as you can see, Chadus was taking damage the entire time, but luckily enough, Orianna knew how important getting that jungle start off for Olaf was, so stayed there, got a few auto attacks off, got a lot of damage done. So Chadus on Olaf is actually looking quite healthy entering into this Wraith camp. Probably going to go straight into his red buff, I would assume, but I have been wrong before. So looking down at this bottom lane, you know what, actually I'm just going to follow Caitlyn for a sec while I set up this lovely little thing down here. Setting up all the champions. I always forget that you can do this now, and I know I should be used to it by now, but I'm really not. I'm horrible like that. So there we go. Now we are all set up, so now everybody can kind of get a comparison of the CS scores and any type of score. Oh, look at that, we have a pause in the game. So thank you everybody for allowing me to talk more, not like my mouth is getting dry. So just looking at this, and not really going to report much on the CS for right now, but one thing to kind of note, Riven is starting to push up, and so is bottom lane. So it's going to be a little bit risky. Bottom lane is a little bit easier because they do have this warded, both in the Tri-Brush. No, actually that's going to be Caitlyn's trap, probably in the Tri-Brush. So with a Caitlyn and the Nunu support getting those wards, your bottom lane is going to be fairly safe. There's not many areas that Nocturne is going to be able to come into pre-6 that's going to really catch them off guard and put them in a bad position for a jungle gank. Top, on the other hand, if Riven is pushing up quite far, she is an incredibly mobile champion, so hopefully they understand the dynamic of that character and she's going to be able to push up but then be able to escape quite easily. But once again, you have that Shen taunt that doesn't matter how mobile of a champion you are, that taunt's going to hold you there. And if she gets taunted, that fear tether from Nocturne is not going to be breaking anytime soon, so could be quite a while that she's going to be stunned up for. So looks like the problems have been fixed. Looks like Shen just disconnected there for a little bit, so glad to see in these games that you get the pause function, because you always hate when your team loses just because of a disconnect. That's never the way that you want to go out, especially in a tournament game. So just going to continue things going here. Chadus is trying to invade, but realizes that the wolves are not there. Nocturne just cleared them. Nocturne went for a little bit more of the safe jungle route, clearing out his race, then going back and clearing up his wolves, I believe. So really making sure to get that experience. I would not be surprised to see Nocturne really trying to rush his level 6 before he starts any kind of big gank attempts. Kind of a failed taunt there by Shen. So Riven's doing quite well there. Still up on CS, but is still pushed up. So Riven's doing the smart play here by standing in this brush whenever she gets the chance, just to make sure that he's pretty much being a ward for himself, making sure that he's not getting jumped on. Orianna's going to be taking a little bit of heat here. Kennen missed a bunch of abilities, so not going to get that stun off onto Orianna. So a little bit of a failed gank in the mid there. Just wasting valuable time for Nocturne. So didn't even get one stack of the electrical charge onto Orianna. So really unfortunate that Kennen missed all of those abilities on her. Didn't make it possible for Nocturne to get the fear tether on. So Riven's going to be hurting Shen a little bit more. Shen popping that shield. Riven really wants to clear these couple creeps, but here comes Olaf. Jack coming in for the gank. Going to be doing quite a bit of damage. The red buff proc is on Shen, but it's not going to be enough damage. That taunt gets him away just in time, but he did have to burn the flash. So Olaf is going to be walking away from here having a successful gank, and with Riven already doing as much damage and poke as she's doing on Shen, going to be feeling in a pretty dominant spot here. And then the next couple minutes, I wouldn't be surprised to see Olaf make his way back up there, knowing that there are no wards, just to try to secure that kill. So there was a ward in this tri-brush. I was mistaken. It wasn't a Caitlyn trap. There was actually a ward, so it did just run out. So Caitlyn and Nunu both know that Nocturne was in that brush. And kind of a surprising move there. Nocturne just sort of poked his head out into the lane and then kind of walked back. So kind of surprised that he didn't try to do anything really of value there. But once again, Nunu just putting another ward right up in that tri-brush. So going to be pretty much making it impossible to gank this lane, because since they're pushed up, he's not going to be able to get a lane gank in coming through this brush. So right now, red team is just loving this, because Nocturne is just sitting here without the ability to do anything. They know exactly where he is. He's just wasting time for himself. Bit of damage going up onto Shen again. Mid is just currently a farm fest. And Nocturne is finally going to back off for a little bit. But as we can see, Olaf has made his way through this brush. Going to try out a lane gank. And there's the engagement from Leona. The Caitlyn cleanse comes out. They're trying to do a lot of damage onto that Ezreal. But wow, Caitlyn taking a lot of damage. Leona has guaranteed herself into that kill. So a lot of damage going down. There come the slows. Caitlyn's trying to get back in here, trying to pick off the kill, but hopefully Olaf will just take this one. But Caitlyn does take the first blood, so really kind of a situation that you wanted. You did want Caitlyn to get that first blood, or Olaf, but you really didn't want Caitlyn coming back into that fight, because if Ezreal just arcane shifts right onto you, good luck getting away from that one. So Leona really I was looking for dedicated, not guaranteed. So really dedicated herself to the kill on Caitlyn. So kind of a risky maneuver. If she got the kill, certainly would have paid off, but really dedicated herself to it, and Caitlyn just got to flash right away, made sure that she didn't die, and actually ending up picking up that kill onto Leona. So great maneuver there from the entire team, having those constant slows from Nunu and Olaf to secure that kill. But here's Nocturne trying to get the fear tether onto Nunu. They do get a little bit of damage onto him, but really Nunu just does not care. He's just going to be chugging those pots. I believe he had a biscuit as well that he probably used. And Caitlyn's just going to continue farming. I wouldn't be surprised to see her clear this lane and then probably head back off, because they know that Leona is going to be heading back very soon. So probably clear out and then go and buy some things. Speaking of buy some things, Riven is heading up. Took quite a bit of damage over from Shen, which is quite surprising, because Shen hasn't actually gone and purchased anything yet. But, well, look at that. Isn't that an interesting buy from Riven there? Buying 3 longswords. So I believe one of those will be turned into a Brutalizer. Brutalizer is such a strong item on Riven right now. And the ability for the Brutalizer to be turned into a Black Cleaver. There we go. I knew I was going to figure it out. The ultimate coming out from Orianna onto Kennen, doing quite a bit of damage, but does manage to burn out the flash. So you could say that that was certainly successful. I have the strange feeling that Orianna probably could have flash ignited for that kill. But if you don't have that really aggressive playstyle, maybe you just you did not want to do that, just in case you didn't get the kill and you just ended up burning 2 summoners. Always a way to look at it is that now Orianna has a clear advantage in lane. Kennen no longer has that flash. Still quite a mobile champion, so going to be still tough to kill her, but Orianna's ultimate will be coming up way before Kennen's flash does. So we might expect to see Olaf come in for a gank, and Orianna trying to put a lot of pressure onto this Kennen. And speaking of pressure, looking up at this bottom lane, Caitlyn did go back, and look at that. She comes back with a Vampiric Scepter and 2 Doran's Blades with her boots. She's quite strong right now, but even looking at it, the CS is pretty much tied up at 50. But look at this, Olaf coming in trying to do something with this blue, and Nocturne is incredibly low. So this is going to be very scary for Nocturne here, taking a bunch of damage from Olaf, has to flash over, but the Orianna jumps right over the wall. There goes the Ignite. Thank God she didn't use it. The Shen ultimate does come out. Chadus on Olaf does have enough to take him out, and the Shen ultimate was burned as well. But look at that, Riven tried to jump in to stop the Shen ultimate. I don't know if it was actually successful or the ultimate stopped because they got the kill, but either way, great play from the red team, making sure to secure that kill. Even popping the ward over to blue buff just allowed them to notice that Nocturne had just finished it and walked into the brush. I'm really surprised that Nocturne decided to be in that brush. I guess he didn't realize or didn't see that ward get placed down, so really not a very good move on his part, but it is a very difficult thing to see if you're not paying your full attention there, so kind of unfortunate on Nocturne there. A lot of damage coming out from this Nunu Kate bot. this blood-boiled Kate just does so much. One of the main issues that there was with Kate was that she didn't have a very good early game. She had quite a bit of poke, but she wasn't really doing a huge amount of damage to people. She had a slow attack speed. She did have really long range for that little bit of poke, but that was all she really had. She was more of a late-game champion. The late game with her range was just disgustingly powerful. But what people seem to have now realized, especially in the professional circuit, is that blood-boiling Kate, it pretty much takes out that bad early game. Now she has this long range poke. She's attacking super fast. She has great escape maneuvers with her 90 caliber net. There's the ultimate onto Orianna though from Nocturne. Going to interrupt that for a little bit, and great amount of burst, taking down Brand Burst on Orianna. So there's the one thing that you do have to worry about, that Nocturne ultimate followed with the Cannon ultimate, guaranteeing that stun and that fear tether going off. So a lot of damage and a lot of CC coming out of blue team right now. And another surprise as well, Nocturne's been farming so well that he actually has a level up on that Olaf. So really going to be interesting to see how this jungle game moves out. But kind of not really having a very good time hitting those shurikens there. Got a little bit of a trade going up top. Probably not going to focus too much on top because it's just going to be a bully fest the entire time. But Shen ultimate is still halfway from being up. So Nocturne is trying to sneak his way into this bottom brush. There is a Caitlyn trap on the far side, but it does look like Leona knows this and is standing right beside it. So, oh, there we go. There's the Caitlyn trap. Oh, Nocturne, do not go into that brush. I don't know if you can probably see. I don't know if they could actually see that. But as we can see, we have absolutely no vision on Nocturne right now. And oh wow, there was actually a kill right there. So Riven managing to take out Shen. I am just going to rewind that just for a second here, because I do just want to see exactly what happened. So, oh yeah, that was basically it. Riven just completely dived on in, and popped that Ignite, and completely shut him down. So, very good job on that Riven's part, taking out that Shen. Shen is not an easy character to take out. But now we are looking at a pretty crucial moment here, is that Shen's ultimate is back up, and so is Nocturne's. So, it would be very surprising for me to not see Shen spawn and then go straight to the... Well, sorry, he's probably going to push off and wait to use his ultimate. But Dragon Pressure is probably going to be coming out pretty darn soon. There's the Leona ultimate, but there's the cleanse right from Caitlyn. Great timing on that one just to get out of that. Popping the cleanse and the flash, making sure that that Leona ultimate didn't seal her fate there. So a little bit of damage going out onto her, stopping the B on Leona, just taking as much time out of their day as humanly possible. So really nice play on this Caitlyn's part so far. Quite a bit of damage going down in the mid lane onto this Orianna from Kennen. So Kennen's got a little bit of a confidence boost here after getting that kill from that Nocturne gank. So playing a little bit more aggressively onto that Orianna. And that Caitlyn Q has actually kept Leona in lane. So going to be a kind of scary situation here where you have both of their ultimates, Caitlyn and Nunu, and Leona does not have hers. So going to be kind of a scary time here, because Leona wanted to be, I'm assuming she probably had a little bit of money on her. Yeah, she was sitting with 902 gold. And I did miss a kill up on Orianna. I am not very good at catching these kills. Let's see what happened here. So Orianna missing her ball, and wow, doing kind of just standing there for Kennen just to pick her off. So yeah, Orianna just, and even burning her ultimate. So really not a fantastic play on Orianna's part there. We did see the Ezreal ultimate come out just then. I think he was just doing it for vision a little bit, or to try to clear these creeps, but he doesn't have a lot of attack damage to actually clear it out. Ezreal's now at the scary point where Caitlyn can ultimate him and actually kill him if Leona's not careful. So they do have to be very careful here. They now know that Ezreal has bead, but Kennen is coming down here for a gank, and there is no ward coverage. So no one knows that Kennen is here, and here comes Olaf, but he does place down a ward, so he does now know. But there's the ultimate from Nocturne onto Riven up in top lane. There's the Fear Tether going off and the taunt. I don't think Riven's going to get out of this one. There you go. Riven is down. But now they do know that Nocturne is top. Nunu going to burn his ultimate just to try to do as much damage to Dragon as humanly possible. They do know that Ezreal went back and Nocturne was top, so this should be a free Dragon for the red team. And yep, they're just going to take this down without a hitch. There you go. So going to follow Orianna just a little bit here just to kind of give a breakdown of how things are going. Riven is winning that top lane 93 CS to 68, so it's quite a significant creep score lead with that one kill, and Shen only managed to get an assist out of that. And there is the Brutalizer from that those previous 3 longs, where it's turning into the Vampiric Scepter and into the Brutalizer. So Riven is looking quite strong and going to be quite scary later on in the game. The jungler is fairly close in CS, Olaf winning by just a small margin. Orianna winning just by a couple, so it's quite even in the mid lane. 119 though for Caitlyn versus the 86 of Ezreal, so with that first blood kill as well, so it's currently looking like bottom lane is having a very good time. They're not too worried about anything, but look at that, Nunu, you got to pick it up. 8 CS for Leona to 0 of Nunu, so boy, isn't that's the difference right there. That's the deal breaker. A lot of damage going down onto this Ezreal. Oh boy. But that was not smart of Caitlyn either, just kind of walking in with no creeps available and taking 2 tower shots to the face. So certainly not a good thing. I do want to come up here for a second because it looks like Nocturne is positioning for a bit of a gank here onto Riven. Riven does have a lot of minions up here, and it's not like Riven hasn't tower dove Shen before, so I think Nocturne is waiting for this tower dive to happen. But it's looking like Riven's gamer sense is going off and kind of understands that something might be going on here. But Nocturne is coming up anyways, so going to be kind of a scary moment. There's the taunt from Shen, and here comes Nocturne. There was the flash from Nocturne. So there is a kill going down in mid lane as well, though. Olaf getting those axes on. Has the Ragnarok been popped? The Ragnarok has been popped, but there's the Shen ultimate coming down to save Kennen. So, so not going to be a kill in either lane. I'm still baffled at at Nocturne using that flash to try to land a Q onto Riven. Like, a nearly full health Riven, and tries to just flash Q to try to secure a kill. But, well, to each his own, I guess. That was an interesting play on his part. So Nocturne's flash is now down. He does not have his ultimate up yet, but he will have it up in just about 10 seconds, so he's going to be ready for that. Good thing on Olaf for buying so many wards, doing a really good job of keeping the map warded, making sure they know exactly where the enemy team is. Caitlyn really feeding off of her Vampiric Scepter just to get that health back, and Ezreal is looking quite low, and Caitlyn's ultimate is once again up. And wow, where did Riven go? Holy, so Riven was trying to farm behind the turret and had no idea that there were 3 members of the enemy team right there. So, wow, that was... Okay, you're not that strong, Riven. Like, you're strong, but you're not that strong. So, interesting play. 4-man gank down to the bottom, though, but nice flash block from Leona. Really, really well played, but now Orianna's taking a lot of damage, uses that shield to stop as much damage as she can. Last turret shot was not enough to take her out, and it looks like they're trying to chase down this Ezreal, but Ezreal with that arcane shift is not going to be an easy target to chase. So good kill on the red team's part. Even just looking at the gold difference here, we can easily see once it's actually going to even out a little bit more if blue team manages to take down this top turret, which they will. They really want that top turret down. The gold lead, 21, looking like 22k to 19.6k. So nearly have a 3k gold lead here on red team at 16 minutes into the game, well 17 minutes into the game. So Riven once again taking a lot of damage here, so it has to be very careful. He's not strong enough yet to really be challenging these 3 members of the enemy team, considering how fast he got bursted down last time. Really wants to play it a little bit more careful. But Caitlyn and Nunu, as you can see, just doing exactly what Caitlyn Nunu does best, and that's just pushing their lane. And look at that, they nearly have the 2nd tier turret down. And there's just currently nothing that Ezreal and Leona can do about this. Caitlyn's going to have to be a little bit careful because she is low on mana. Barely, I don't even think doesn't have enough mana. Will have enough mana now just for 190 caliber nets. So you have to be very careful when you reach that point on Caitlyn, because that's your only escape maneuver completely gone. So kind of a scary time to be a Caitlyn if that ends up happening. If they engage on you, nothing you can do, and her cleanse is still down. So what else is really going on here? The lead is pretty much still the same in bot lane, 154 to 115, so quite a substantial lead in CS from Caitlyn to Ezreal. It's still nearly even in that mid lane, only up about 10 CS. But the real difference right now is coming from the Riven Shen up in top lane. And actually they're not even really worried about each other, they're just kind of poking one another and farming. But as we can see, Riven is really winning this farm lane, 136 to 89 of Shen. So, but surprisingly, that's just the power of Shen, still managing to stay in lane and still managing to duel with Riven, even though Riven has such a substantial lead on him. So, even just looking at the gold, 5,500 to 4,200 of Shen. So, you can just see how well Riven is doing against this Shen. So, Not the best position to be in. One thing that we can note, though, is that Nocturne's ultimate and Shen's ultimate are both up. So, could be seeing some aggression very, very soon from the blue team. Caitlyn trying to trap up the area because they do see that Nocturne. Nocturne is going to use that ultimate onto Nunu. Kennan's going to get in here just in time, but whiffs the ultimate because of that flash from Nunu. And that Blood Boil, is that going to get them away in time? Shen is not moving at all. What a wasted ultimate. I don't know if maybe Shen was lagging out a little bit there, but Shen came in and did not even move, just kind of stood there and watched Nunu's backside walk away from him. So, yeah, that was a very interesting play, and Riven is now just going to be able to take out this top turret and not really have to worry whatsoever. So, I have to say, kind of a bad play there on Shen's part, is that using that ultimate, losing your turret, he has to walk all the way back, and he is already losing this lane pretty substantially. So, you can't really afford to be making plays like that where it's taking out lane for so long. But look at that, Leona's going to get caught, actually uses her Zenith Blade into 4 members of the enemy team, so really not very good at all. Luckily, Ezreal does have that Arcane Shift still up, so he gets away from that one. But this is probably going to be a free dragon for the red team. Blue team is going to know that this is happening just because they're watching everybody run by that ward in the Tri-Brush. So Kennan's going to do his best, or sorry, her best, to push down this middle turret. But they're probably, yeah, they're just going to send Orianna into mid because they don't need everybody for that. Dragon right there. Nunu just popping his ultimate to do some more damage, but they're strong enough as it is to just take out that dragon without Orianna's help, and Orianna can defend that mid turret. It's still sitting with half HP. And Nocturne was sitting up here waiting for that Riven to come back to lane, but little did he know, Riven already went back to buy. And good God, he went back to buy a BF sword. So look at that, 190 attack damage on Riven already. And still sitting with 74 armor and 82 magic resist. So Riven is scary right now, I have to say. I'm going to enjoy watching Riven come into these team fights. And once again, Nunu and Kate just pushing down, took out this second tier turret, and they're just going to continue pushing. Currently, blue team does not have a response to what Nunu and Kate are doing right now. They're just letting them kind of push, and the good thing about Nunu right now is that he's put very strategic wards so they can get away when they need to. So even if they see somebody like Nocturne or Kennen coming down to try to kill them and stop their push, not really a whole lot that you can do to catch a Blood Boil Nunu and Kate. So very good play on their part. On their part. Riven coming down just to take out these golems, increase her lead just a little bit more, and Shen going back to town. Surprisingly, I wonder what he's going to pick up. Is he going to pick up anything? Oh, there you go. So Giant Spelt onto Shen. So very good pickup. And it looks like it's turning into a little bit of pressure into the middle, but it looks like they don't really want to do anything too serious. Shen's ultimate is almost up, looking like 14 seconds left. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the blue team hold off just for a little bit longer until they know that that Shen ultimate is up. But the teleport is up as well, so if blue team manages to have a ward on them, which none of them do, so that teleport is pretty much useless in a team fight. So, well, good try, Shen. Looks like 3 of them are going to start pressuring bottom. They really want this bottom turret down. Look at that. They hadn't even got a single hit off on that bottom turret. And Caitlyn trying to do as much damage as she can before this turret goes down. And I would not be surprised to see a little bit of an engage here on Shen, trying to do as much damage to him as they can. The slows are down, but no, they are not going to chase that Shen. So quite a bit of damage, and the flash did get burned on Shen, but the turret did get taken out for blue team. So not a horrible trade to lose a flash for a turret. But as we're seeing, once again, Riven is just pushing her lane. It doesn't really look like blue team has a response to this constant pushing power of red team. Here comes Olaf, but completely whiffed Orianna ultimate. So there's a flash from Kennen, and Olaf burning his Ragnarok to try to chase down this kill, but there's the Shen ultimate onto Kennen to make sure that he survives. A lot of damage going down onto Nocturne, though, but it doesn't look like Olaf has his team following him. It looks like there was a bit of a miscommunication there. A lot of damage coming down onto Nunu from that turret. So I don't know if maybe that was a miscommunication, but I think they could have probably gotten a couple kills in that one, but it didn't look like the rest of the team was following Olaf, who looked more than primed and ready to tank that turret for his team. So we'll just kind of see how that plays out. Kennen did go B, so it looks like they have a little bit of time to do some damage. And look at the damage going down onto Ezreal. Are those minions going to be enough? No, they will not be enough to take him down, but so much damage. Look at the damage going down onto Shen. The Ignite is going to take him out from Riven, and they're just going to start taking down this mid lane turret. So all 3 first tier turrets are gone. So the map control for red team is just immense right now. Even the ward coverage, it looks like blue team only has this one little ward. As you can see, their vision is so poor right now, just having that one. When you look at red team, their vision is so much greater. Even though they only have 2 wards, just seeing how greatly it affects the map presence, having those 3 turrets down, really opens up the entire map for red team. So very nicely played on their part, making sure that those turrets go down. That was kind of cool, dodging the shuriken, coming straight at him. So red team is probably going to go back to base and use their well-earned money. So look at that, 1,800, 1,400. So quite a bit of money sitting on that red team. Going to go pick up some stuff. Ezreal using that ultimate to try to clear out the wave. But look at that, he barely cleared out anything. So Ezreal not really having a great game here. He is 0-0-0. So I like to say that he hasn't died, but he also hasn't done anything productive. All the kills have been going down with this cannon. There is 1 kill up on this Nocturne, but basically the game that they're going to be playing right now is protect the cannon, because it looks like he's going to be the only one doing a substantial amount of damage here. The kills, what I like about the red team right now is that their kills aren't focused on one person. Having 2 kills on Riven, 2 kills on Olaf, 2 kills on Kate, and everybody having some nice assists on them. The gold is really well spread out. And even just looking at the gold, 8,500, 6,400, 7,600, 8,800, 5,400 to the opposing team, who doesn't have anyone even in the mid 7s. So quite a staggering difference in gold in comparison to the teams. And as we can see, there's a 7k gold lead right now for red team, and they're just increasing it substantially more, just constantly pushing, and red team has no response to this. Constantly pushing. Ezreal's going to burn his ultimate to try to get in here. They're going to try to come away from the back. The Leona ultimate did go down, only hitting Orianna, so really a wasted engage right there. Going to have to wait for that Leona ultimate to come back up if you're going to want to do anything against this team. Some big damage from Orianna and Caitlyn going down onto that Ezreal. But if you're going to want to engage on this team, you're going to need everything. They're so far ahead right now. And did Shen... I don't know how Shen got there. Oh, it must have just beat and then walked right up. So, Dragon is up now. Does not look like blue team. Well, blue team is going to see it from this ward right here. But really, that's all the vision they have. They have to ward their jungle so much more now because of those turrets being down. So they are seeing Caitlyn on this Dragon. They do know what's happening, but nope, they are just not going to do a damn thing about it. They know that they can't really fight red team right now. And you're seeing on red team as well, look at the ward coverage. It is just ripping up the map with how much vision that they have. And it looks like Shen trying to make something happen here. Does manage to taunt that Orianna, doing a lot of damage. The Shockwave coming out on Olaf and Nocturne, not the targets you want to hit with that Shockwave. Kennen doing a great ultimate in the middle, knocking that Olaf down to about half health, but using all their disables on someone who can't be disabled. Not really the smartest move. So not a bad play there. You really need to, if you're this far behind and you're blue team right now and you're this far behind red team, you need to get those small victories. And the small victory right there was taking out that Orianna. You killed that Orianna, did quite a bit of damage to Olaf, so hopefully they can turn this into a tower because they don't have the wave clearing power that they do with Orianna anymore. So it looks like they're going to take this free turret. And if I were red team, I would just be trying to push up to this second tier turret, hopefully take that one out as well. I really don't think that red team can challenge this right now. They really need to wait for Orianna to get back up. But Riven is kind of doing the smart thing. They know that they can't challenge this 4v5, so Riven is just going to start pushing through here. Shen's going to have to use the teleport and gets the taunt off onto Riven, but Riven isn't even in range to get hit by that turret. So be surprised to see Shen stay here to fight this Riven. But now, Riven, you might not be playing this very smart. You need to get out of here. You're seeing a whole whack ton of blue come your way. So the lucky thing, though, is that they have all these wards set up from red team. They might actually want to collapse in on this one. Yep, Riven is going to go in and engage onto this Ezreal, doing a lot of damage. Going to use that ultimate to make sure that he is not coming back into that fight. Now, the question being, is red team going to try to turn this into an inhibitor, or are they going to try to go for the Baron to try to then push for the win afterwards? All their wards at Baron just wore out, and blue team does not have any wards around Baron, so I'm not sure which one they're going to go for. Are they going to try to take down... They're going to try to take down this top second tier turret. Not sure how I feel about that play. It was kind of risky either way. I'm not really sure what they would have done there, but Riven is so strong and they're doing so much damage now. I would have liked to see them go and take that Baron out, because I think they would have had plenty of time to do it. Looks like there might be an engagement on here, but oh, great Orianna ultimate there, hitting 3 members of the enemy team. There goes Leona so quickly. No Leona ultimate for this, but look at the damage coming down from that Kennen ultimate. Just did so much, absolutely wreaked havoc on this team. So they're going to have to, Red is now in full retreat mode trying to escape from this engagement. Olaf trying to get away but does get taunted. Nocturne picking up the double kill, and they're just going to try to chase down on this team. Kennen doing so much damage. Nunu trying to sacrifice himself, trying to get Kennen away from the carries here, Riven and Kate. I believe that they're going to be getting out of here A-OK, but the Ezreal ultimate is actually almost up. There's only 10 seconds left on that, so if Ezreal times this correctly, 7-6, if he times this correctly, he could very well pick up 2 kills. I'm not sure if he's going to try for it. Is he going to try for it? Is he going to try for it? No, he's not going to. Oh, there we go. A little bit late for my liking. And you missed the platform completely. So, yeah, that's a thing. That happened. So, he waited. I would have shot it immediately, right when it came up, to hopefully pick him off before they got to the fountain. And then he even kind of missed the main part of the fountain. So, interesting tactic, I guess. Try to scare them into thinking, well, I could have got you. Like, I don't know what he was doing there, but the lucky thing is that the Ezreal ultimate is on such a low cooldown. Like, as you guys can see, there's only another 40 seconds until it comes up again. So, looks like Red Team is actually going to go for this Baron. Very, very sneaky maneuver there, knowing that they had to clean up their base, and they're going to go back and use the money that they got from that nice little fight that they had previously. And there's going to be nothing that Red Team can do about this. They don't even have vision on it. They have no clue that this is going on. So, great maneuver from Red Team, picking up that Baron completely scot-free. Blue Team has no idea that that just happened. You know what? The blue buff is up as well. I wonder if they're going to check for that one. Riven's actually going up top to clear that lane, so I don't really like that the rest of Red Team is down here. They do not want to get caught in a 4v5 engage without Riven, who is currently one of the strongest members on their team. So, yep, there you go. There's the pings going back right now. So, smart maneuver. You do not want to be fighting without Riven. Riven does have so much money currently on his person, 1,800 gold. So I'd like to see Red Team do something with this Baron. I'm not liking that people are kind of splitting off and doing their own thing. Riven should be going back to buy, and then they should all be meeting up in the middle to try to push down this less than half HP turret and taking down that inhibitor, so that way they have their lanes pushing. But currently everybody's kind of going and doing their own thing. Orianna picked up the blue buff. Caitlyn's in mid farming for some reason. She's sitting with 700 gold, but not really a ton to do anything with. Riven is finally going back now, so people are going B at different times, and it might set them back a little bit on this Baron buff. It's almost halfway done already, so as you can see, they've lost quite a bit of that Baron buff potential. The majority of Blue Team coming up just to secure that blue buff for their Nocturne. Great part about having a Kennen in the mid lane is that Kennen works on energy and not mana, so you can afford to give those blue buffs away to somebody like Nocturne to get his ultimate up and his Fear Tether up and his Spell Shield up far more often. I'm gonna take a sip of my beer there. And not a good spot for Red Team to be in. I don't like this at all. Great shockwave though. That actually turned the fight completely. Holy, that damage. Okay, the Ignite is onto Nocturne, so Nocturne will be dying. Great axe from Olaf. They're going to chase down this Ezreal. Yep, Olaf did get the soul, but there's the Arcane Shift getting out of that one, and they're just going to poke down this turret. It's going to be down. Here goes the inhibitor. Shen did finally come back. Shen didn't even get his ultimate off in that one, so I didn't like that fight because Caitlyn and Nunu both weren't there. They were down bottom, so I was thinking there was going to be a 4v5 plus the Shen ultimate. Sorry, a 3v5 with the Shen ult. So really didn't think that was going to work out too well, but as you guys could see, just an incredible shockwave from Orianna and the Riven ultimate going across all those members. Just bursted people down so quickly. Really hard to argue with that. They are just going to tank this turret, make sure they get it down, and they're now looking at an 11k gold lead. So at this point, it really is Red Team's game to lose. I really don't see how they could lose this one by playing the way that they've been playing. But once again, you make one kind of small mistake, and it can start snowballing. If any of you guys watched the, I can't remember, I think it was DreamHack, where it was CLG EU versus Moscow 5, the 70 some odd minute game, the like 26k gold lead for Moscow 5, and CLGEU managed to win the game. So I never count teams out because I've seen worse than this, but the way the red team has been playing it, they're doing a very good job at continuing the pressure, making sure they're using every last bit of this Baron buff. And now that they have mid lane pushing, they can afford to start doing things like this, which is putting pressure on other turrets. And they have engaged way too late on this one. Blue team really needed to engage when they had that turret up, but they are going to be running back to their double towers. There's the Nocturne ultimate coming into the entire team, completely balls deep onto all 5, but wow, really not a smart play on that one. Should have just gone away from that. Shen blocking that Caitlyn ultimate, but there goes the second inhibitor for the top lane. I would probably say that this is going to be GG. I don't really know what the blue team can currently do about this push. Shen's going to do his best to try to taunt into the enemy team. There's the Kennen ultimate doing a lot of damage to Olaf. Olaf is going to go down, and wow, Riven taking a lot of damage too, but she still has her Guardian Angel up, so she's going to be coming back. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage to Ezreal. Holy, nearly took him out. Riven jumping in, taking down that Leona with the help, well, Caitlyn taking it down with the help of Riven and that stun, doing a lot of damage, taking down that second turret, and the Nexus is now taking a lot of damage, but Kennen is still up, could turn this fight. Great ultimate from Ezreal going through everybody. They're going to try to do as much damage as they can, but taking down that Kennen. Riven once again taking a lot of damage, and a double kill from Orianna seals the deal for the red team, and the Nexus goes down. So very well played, well executed throughout the entire game, making sure to take down those dragons. Great ward coverage from Nunu. Great sneaky attempt on that Baron to take it out. So well done, red team. Well done, Chadus. Glad to be casting these games for you, and hope you guys enjoyed my first cast of the Go4lol tournament. See you guys next time.